To welcome you to this special announcement concerning a new and exciting project planned for Jefferson County. This time I'd like to recognize our elected officials and thank them for being here today and supporting us in this effort. Our Jefferson County Commissioners, I know we have a lot of people. If you would just please raise your hand and be recognized, please. The Jefferson County Commissioners. We have 5 cities represented, so if the mayors and aldermen of those cities would please raise their hands for us. Again, thank you very much. Dr. Charles Edmonds, the Superintendent of School, and his staff. I also like to recognize the Jefferson County Chamber of Commerce, Board of Directors, and the staff. Some of you are seated. And also the Industrial Development Board, if you'd please raise your hand and be recognized. We thank you for the effort and what you do for our county. I'd also like to thank Mr. Congressman Rowe for attending today. Sir, if you please stand, we'd like to recognize you. Thank you for being a part of this today for us. Jefferson County is a great place to live, as most of us well know. And through our Building a Better Future campaign in 2008, we had a 20-year strategic plan, and the message is finally out. We're open for business. In recent years, tourism has dramatically increased, and many businesses are expanding and relocating to our county. As most of you know, the past 2 years we've been very fortunate to host the Bassmasters Elite Series. And I'd like to give recognition to Ms. Adele Simpson at this time for the job she does for tourism. In 2009, we created the Economic Development Oversight Committee, and most of you know it as EDOC, to redouble our efforts to attract new jobs to Jefferson County. EDOC focuses on helping existing businesses grow while also working to attract new businesses and jobs. At this time, I would like to recognize the Board of Directors for EDOC, Mr. Jay Mosier, Marty Mills, Max Fultz, Darrell Helton, David Bunch, Mark Potts, and Greg Williams, and myself, George Gant. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Today, I am thrilled to announce that EDOC will be pursuing certification for a proposed mega site to be located right here in Jefferson County, the East Tennessee Regional Mega Site. The East Tennessee Regional Mega Site has tremendous potential to attract thousands of new jobs to our area by recruiting a large-scale manufacturer that will bring millions of dollars to our economic impact to our communities. This site will be an economic driver for the entire region, not just Jefferson County. New jobs will create a large tax base in Jefferson County, and in the process, a better education system, a higher quality of life for every citizen. As we begin the certification process, however, there are significant steps that must be taken and questions that must be answered. The certification process will take months, if not a year, to complete. Jefferson County and the entire region must rally around this effort. It is important for our future and the future of our children and grandchildren. Site selection consulting firm McCallum and Sweeney has identified a site at the intersection of Interstate 40 and Interstate 81 as the ideal candidate for a new mega site. This site was chosen because of its high visibility and accessibility, as well as its placement in relation to existing mega site locations. As you can see from this map, our site in Jefferson County fits perfectly into a gap in competitive mega sites in the eastern United States. We are ideally situated to benefit from surrounding suppliers, but not close enough to directly compete for labor sources and resources with any surrounding major manufacturers. This site will create brand new jobs for a workforce previously untapped by existing competitive mega sites. The mega site will be attractive to automobile manufacturers, and this opportunity could not come at a more perfect time. Industry experts say 9 major automobile manufacturers will be looking for new facilities within the next 5 years. The Jefferson County mega site will be positioned to capitalize on these expansions. I would like to thank Mr. Brad Mall, who isn't with us today, but he's our former Jefferson County economic recruiter who started this project. I'd also like to thank Mr. Garrett Wagley and Mr. Don Kaysen for the excellent work that they have completed to this point, but the process is far from over. We will now work with McCallum and Sweeney to certify the site. The East Tennessee Regional Mega Site has the potential to be the largest economic development success story to date in the whole Northeast Tennessee corridor. This project deserves wide support from leaders from Knoxville to the Tri-Cities. I look forward to partnering with our Jefferson County citizens and neighbors as we build a brighter economic future for our region. Thank you, and now I'd like to welcome our County Mayor, Alan Palmieri, to the podium. Mayor.
Good job. Thank you. Now, is that applause for me or because George is finished? I'd like to thank all of you for attending today and coming out for this wonderful announcement that's being made. I'd like to thank Mayor Gant for his leadership and all that he's doing on the project. You know, I began my political career back in the late 1960s. And to this day, from that day, I've heard the same thing over and over and over. We need jobs. We need good paying jobs. We need entertainment. We need things to provide our youth with some entertainment. We need restaurants. We need a movie theater. We need a host of things. Back in the late 60s, I heard that, and I hear that to this very day. Well, the mega site in East Tennessee and in Jefferson County is going to provide that and a lot more for our people. The East Tennessee Regional Mega Site is not just going to impact Jefferson County in a positive way, but it's going to impact all of East Tennessee and all the surrounding counties that touch us. We're going after this from a regional concept where we're working together with our neighboring counties. Why do we know that it's going to be such a positive impact on our community? All we have to do is see the success of the 5 certified mega sites in the TVA service area. They've already been sold to major corporations, and they are all a success. The Volkswagen mega site in Chattanooga brought in over 2,700 jobs, and they're recently expanding in their own county with a $40 million distribution center. Toyota, Packard, Silverstone, they've all brought in over 3,700 jobs. And there's 500 jobs that have been added in Clarksville by Hemlock Semiconductor. All told, the mega sites in the TVA service area have generated $5.5 billion. Let me say that again, that's not million. That's $5.5 billion and economic impact. And they've created more than 32,000 jobs. We have the resources that are needed to make a mega site success here in Jefferson County. In Jefferson County, we have nearly 24,000 skilled workers ready and willing to fill the needs of a mega site. Throughout our region, with our adjoining counties, we have a labor shed of more than 370,000 workers. Now it's been established how the East Tennessee Regional Mega Site will benefit our region. The next logical question is, what do we do next? How do we proceed? What's the next steps? In the coming months, Jefferson County will need to be certified as a mega site by the consulting firm McCallum Sweeney. The certification process will take roughly 8 to 12 months. And once it's completed, it serves as an assurance to economic development prospects of the site's shovel readiness. To qualify for certification, the land has to be immediately available, have all the environmental and geological tests completed, be situated close to major highways, rail lines, and auto suppliers, and have plenty of labor. EDOC and Jefferson County are committed to the openness in this process and to keep the lines of communication open with all the residents. In order to do that, they'll be hosting a property owner's open house next week to answer any questions that the residents whose property may fall in this area might have. There will also be information available on a regular basis on the website, and there will be a telephone number that can be called for additional information. In summary, the East Tennessee Regional Megasite has the potential to bring thousands and thousands of quality jobs and millions of dollars of economic development to our community. Our Jefferson County site is the ideal strategic location to attract a large-scale manufacturer to this region. It comes at the perfect time, as many key automotive companies on the verge of significant expansion. We're ready for this growth. We have the resources, the commitment, and support from the leadership of this community, and we want to see this job done, and we want to see it certified. What we're all asking is for your support and your cooperation, and that you partner with us as we do much to develop the economic impact of our community. And what I would like to do now is have the great and distinct honor of introducing to you Congressman Phil Rowe, who's back from Washington with the battles with the Obama administration. And we would like to welcome you, Congressman, and I'd like to ask you to step forward and say a few words, if you would.
Thank you, Alan. First of all, I've got to, I was reading on the internet when I came down here that Congress has only a 9% approval rating, so I'm glad to get invited anywhere, Alan. Thank you for inviting me. Muammar Gaddafi had a 14% approval rating. Look what they did to him. I was reading on the web that there was some good news in that poll, though, because we polled higher than Lindsay Lohan, meth labs in North Korea. So I want, as a former city commissioner and local mayor in Johnson City, and I know how important economic development is. And what you all are doing here, I think will affect this region if this is successful, and what a vision you have for the next 50 years. I looked at one site we had in Washington County that took 30 years to fill up. It's still creating jobs and economic development for the people there. And last June, I was in China. And you know, we are competing on a world basis now. I looked at that country with 1.4 billion people, 1.4 billion people. And yet in America, with 300 million people, we produce more goods and services than any other nation in the world. We're more productive than 1.4 billion. So the most productive worker in the world is the American worker. My father was a factory worker, worked in a factory making shoe heels. And he lost his job to Mexico in 1974 when I was in the Army overseas. So I know what it is to see our jobs go away. What a terrific thing it is to see the vision to bring them back. And I absolutely believe that we have an opportunity in America now, if we have the leadership in Washington, D.C., to become energy independent. If we can become energy independent, which we can with the right policies, and we know that we're not dependent on any other foreign nation, we will get our manufacturing jobs back in this country where they need to be. And we'll produce the goods and services, the best quality of goods and services that can be produced in the world. If you look at our economy right now, we have the workers. We will educate the workers. Right here, next door to here is Walters State, not a 10-minute drive from here. You've got Carson Newman College right here. You've got UT just down the road, East Tennessee State just up the road. So we have the potential to educate our students, to educate our populace, and to get these jobs in here. And I want to, Alan, thank you all, and the mayors, thank you all for your vision. This is a huge task. But I absolutely believe what you've said. The economic impact, I don't think you can even measure now because of how large it is. Just to give you an idea in the country, we have a 7.89% unemployment in the country. If you put up the people who quit looking for work, it's near 10%. And the chronically unemployed, we've got millions of people who want work in this country that can't find a job. And not everybody can work in a service job like I did as a doctor or an assistant or whatever you would in the service industry. To rebuild the middle class in America, when I was sitting right here thinking before I got up here, to rebuild the middle class in America, we have to get manufacturing back. And this is what this will do. That's how you build the middle class back that we've lost. We've lost so many of those jobs. And these will be very, very good jobs, highly skilled jobs. So, Alan, thank you all for your vision, and thank you for being here. And when I drove up, I thought this must be a great restaurant to have this kind of crowd at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But what a view it is here, and I wish you nothing but the best. And certainly the resources of our office will be there to help you in any way we can. So thank you all very much.
Again, that ends our press conference. Again, thank you very much for attending, and we're very excited to go forward. And again, thank you very much.